There is a half moon of light your phone throws onto the ceiling when it lies face down on the nightstand. You have learned this shape by heart. It is the color of a low-wattage charger, amber and thin, and it does not move. In the dark, you watch it sometimes, counting the minutes since you last turned the screen over to check if anything arrived. The number is always higher than you expect. Not because you are patient, because you have stopped expecting. The light does not flicker. It simply waits, like you, for something that does not come. You turned on Do Not Disturb 3 years ago, or maybe 4. The exact date does not matter. What matters is that you no longer remember what it sounded like when your phone rang in the middle of dinner. You have forgotten the particular panic of a notification arriving while you were in the shower, the way your wet hand would reach for the glass before your mind had caught up. You have forgotten the sound of your mother's ringtone, the one you chose carefully in a music store years ago, back when choosing a ringtone still felt like expressing something about who you were. You have replaced all of that with a single, continuous silence. It is not peaceful, exactly. It is more like a held breath that never exhales. Like a room after everyone has left, but you can still smell the perfume. In the morning, you wake up and the phone is already quiet. You do not check it immediately. You make coffee, listening to the water heat and the beans grind, sounds that have become more reliable than any human voice. The steam rises in the cold kitchen and disappears against the window. You stand at the window and watch the neighbor walk his dog, the same route, the same gray coat, the same pause at the corner where the lamppost flickers and the dog sniffs at the same patch of grass. You wonder if the dog sees you standing there. You tell yourself this is what control feels like. The world is on the other side of a membrane, and you have decided when to puncture it. You check your messages at 9:30, always 9:30, as if this ritual proves something about your discipline. But the truth is less impressive. The truth is that by 9:30, you have already rehearsed every possible thing that could be waiting. The bad news, the silence, the person you hoped would write and didn't. The group chat you muted 6 months ago because the notifications made your chest tight. You have already imagined each scenario with the thoroughness of someone who has spent years preparing for conversations that never come. You tell people you keep it on D&D for focus, for work. Because the spam calls got out of hand, because the political texts became unbearable, because once you start explaining the real reason you worry, you will not stop. These reasons are true enough to be repeatable, and you have repeated them so often they have started to feel like the whole story. But there is another layer, one you do not mention at parties. You keep it on because you cannot bear the suddenness of contact. The way a ringing phone demands that you become available immediately, without warning, without consent. Your body still remembers the jolt of an unexpected call. The way your stomach would tighten before you even looked at the name. The way your throat would close around a greeting you had not prepared. The way your hand would shake slightly as you swiped to answer, as if you were defusing a bomb rather than saying hello. You have not outgrown that feeling. You have simply removed the trigger. Your friends have adapted. They text instead. They know you will see it eventually, and they have stopped expecting speed. Some of them find it charming, your whole unreachable persona, as if you are the kind of person who lives deliberately, who curates their attention like a museum. Others have quietly stopped trying. You notice this only in retrospect, when you realize it has been 6 months since someone invited you somewhere spontaneously. Everything is scheduled now. Everything comes through text, with time to prepare, time to craft a response, time to decide whether you have the energy to be the person they are asking for. You have built a life where no one can surprise you. You are not sure when that started to feel like a loss. You remember a time when someone called you at 8 in the evening and said they were outside. Come down, and you did. You remember the feeling of your shoes on the stairs, the cold air, the unexpectedness of being wanted without warning. You cannot remember the last time that happened. There is a particular kind of loneliness that comes from being unreachable by accident. When your phone is on D&D, you are never not answering because you are busy. You are not answering because you have made a rule. And rules do not bend for joy the same way they do not bend for sorrow. You have missed things. A friend called from a hospital waiting room, and you did not know until the next morning when the crisis had already passed into something quieter and more manageable. Someone sent you a voice note laughing about something that happened in a bar, and by the time you heard it, the moment had already cooled, the joke already half forgotten by everyone who was there. A cousin called to tell you she was engaged, and you found out 3 days later through a photograph on Instagram. The congratulations already piled up beneath it like leaves. You tell yourself this is the price of peace. But some nights, lying in the dark, watching that amber half moon on the ceiling, you wonder if peace is the right word for what you have bought. You check your phone less now. The compulsion has dulled. There was a time when you would unlock it every 4 minutes, a muscle memory you could not control, your thumb moving before your brain had registered the thought. Now you can leave it in another room for an hour. You can sit through a movie without touching it once. You have read books again, whole chapters, without the urge to see if anyone needs you. This should feel like victory. But there is a difference between not checking and not wanting to check. And you are no longer sure which one you are living in. Sometimes you pick up the phone and stare at the black screen and feel nothing. Not relief. Not longing. Just the flatness of a room where no one has knocked for a very long time, and you cannot remember anymore what the knocking sounded like. It is easy to believe that the silence is a kind of armor, that you have built something around yourself, something necessary, something that keeps the noise at a distance where it cannot touch you. You have told yourself this story for years. You have polished it until it shines. But lately, a different thought has been arriving, uninvited, at odd hours. It comes while you are washing dishes, your hands in water that has gone cold, or walking to the store past the house with the wind chimes that never stop, or lying in bed with the amber light on the ceiling and the dog barking 3 streets away. It is not a revelation. It does not announce itself. It simply stands in the corner of the room until you turn your head. You have spent years believing that the D&D was a door you closed against the world. But what if it is something else? What if it is a door you closed from the inside? Not to keep them out, to keep yourself from going out. Because out there, in the unmuted world, things happen without warning. People change their minds. They ask questions you cannot answer. They expect you to be present, to react in real time, to show up before you have had a chance to rehearse. The D&D does not protect you from them. It protects them from the person you become when surprised. The one who says the wrong thing, who laughs too late, who goes quiet in a way that makes other people uncomfortable. The one who disappears into the bathroom at parties and stands in front of the mirror counting breaths. You have started to wonder if the silence is not a boundary but an apology, a way of being present without being there. A way of saying, I am sorry, I am like this, without ever having to say it out loud. You still check the phone. Of course you do. You check it with the desperation of someone who has told themselves they do not care. You scroll through the notifications you have allowed, the ones from apps, the news alerts, the reminders you set yourself, looking for proof that you are still part of things. But the human ones are sparse. They come at predictable hours. They ask for nothing immediate. And when you see a message from someone you love, you feel a small, sharp thing that is not quite happiness. It is relief that they have not given up. Relief that you still have time to compose a reply that sounds like the person they think you are. Your thumb hovers over the keyboard. You type something. You delete it. You type something else, warmer, more available, adding an exclamation mark you do not feel. You read it 3 times to make sure it does not sound like someone who has been alone in a quiet room for too long. You send it. Then you turn the phone face down again and watch the half moon reappear on the ceiling, steady and small, a light that belongs to no one but you. The neighbor's dog barks once, then stops. The sound is muffled, distant, already fading into the kind of quiet that does not ask anything of you. You lie very still. You are not waiting for anything. You have made sure of that. If this speaks to something you have not named out loud, you might find a home here. New essays arrive when the world gets too quiet to ignore.